This video is sponsored by War Thunder. More from them in a bit. It's the end of the year. The end of a painful, terrible year for the channel. I haven't even uploaded in like a month and a half, and you probably didn't notice. But I want to end the year on a bang. At the end of 2022, I released this video that was a series of predictions about the next year. So yeah, maybe next year I'll revisit this list, see what I got right, see what I got wrong, and maybe we'll have a good laugh about it. Or I just won't ever bring this up again. That's a prediction for you to make. A year that has now since passed. I'm gonna go over those predictions, see what I got right, see what I got wrong, and try to get something out. Try to get a video out. I'm on my last legs here. Now, in the past few months, I haven't really talked about gaming news that much. Not really much of a gaming news and speculation channel like I used to be. And part of the reason is because of just how bad these predictions are. But before we get into all of that, War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. You can use more than 2,000 different tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships in dynamic, combined arms PvP battles, spanning over a century of extensively historically accurate vehicles with extreme attention to detail. We're not talking just HP points here. You got detailed vehicle damage models, which means these machines suffer actual damage like they're in combat. You want some style? You want some style? Then you got some in-depth customization system for your vehicles. Look at that. Go download and play War Thunder on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation using my link in the description. If you haven't played in the past 6 months or ever before, you can get yourself a large bonus pack, including multiple premium vehicles, an exclusive 3D decorator, and a premium account. Ow! That was a weird noise. So my first prediction was about the fact that the major Xbox releases of 2023, Redfall, Forza, Starfield, these were supposed to be the early releases of 2023. I figured they were gonna get delayed because they didn't have concrete release dates. They did. Redfall released early in the year. Forza and Starfield, though, much later. So that's 1 for 1. I predicted that Sony would have a pretty quiet early 2023, focusing solely on the PlayStation VR 2 and nothing else, which was not true. They had an event where they announced like Baldur's Gate 3 was coming to PlayStation, so that's 1 for 2. I got that one wrong. I predicted that Nintendo would basically do nothing in early 2023 except for talk about Zelda, and that would lead into the Switch 2 in like 2024 or something. That didn't. They did a lot this year. It's 1 for 3. I expected the Avatar game to get delayed into 2024. That didn't happen. 1 for 4. I expect Spider-Man 2, the video game Spider-Man 2, would not get delayed. That was the prediction. And it didn't. It did not get delayed. So I got that right. 2 out of 5. Pokemon Let's Go Johto and Black and White remakes. That didn't happen. 2 out of 6. I said that we'd get no new Call of Duty. Instead, we'd get Modern Warfare 2 DLC that costs $70. I just took this prediction from a report that was online, and that report turned out to be wrong. Or like Activision changed their mind. Modern Warfare 3 is basically Modern Warfare 2 DLC. That was the initial plan. But since it's not actually DLC, this doesn't count. 2 out of 7. I expected Forspoken to underperform in sales. How bold. I expected the long-delayed Skull and Bones to underperform in sales. This game didn't even release in 2023. It got delayed again. I should have seen that one coming. 3 out of 9. I expected GTA 6 to get announced this year, but not released this year. So like it'd get announced, but not release. And it got announced and it's not released. 4 out of 10. No new Valve game. Valve didn't make a game this year. 5 out of 11. No Elder Scrolls 6 gameplay. We didn't get any of that. 6 out of 12. I expected that Square could get bought by Sony after the Microsoft Activision deal ended and regulators were, I don't know, not looking or something. This didn't happen, and it doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen. 6 out of 13. I expected that big tech companies wouldn't try to buy any major publishers this year, and they didn't. 7 out of 14. I predicted that Microsoft wouldn't buy anybody else other than Activision Blizzard this year. At the time, there was predictions that Microsoft was going to try to buy Netflix. That's what people were saying. That was a rumor going around. And while Microsoft did end up putting a huge investment in OpenAI, that wasn't an acquisition, so I'd say this counts. 8 out of 15. I said EA will not get bought by Disney, which was a rumor going around at that time, although the rumor did pop up later again in 2023. 9 out of 16. My next prediction was that Ubisoft would get bought out by Nintendo. Now, my reasoning behind this was that Mostly my set of predictions up to this point were incredibly boring. But I figured Nintendo would be launching new hardware in like 2024, 2025. Maybe they would want some new teams to show it off. Ubisoft is dying. They might be pretty cheap pretty soon, so maybe they'd go for it. They didn't. They did not. That's 9 out of 17. I predicted no Switch Pro, but a Switch 2 was coming after 2023. That's 10 out of 18, I think. No Pro consoles. No Pro consoles whatsoever. And the PlayStation 5 Pro leaked in 2023. So something out of the other. No Nintendo 64 Classic Edition. Yeah, I guess that's true. I said there'd be PlayStation 5 Slim rumors, but no release. Oof.
Possibly a new Steam Deck with no performance boost.
This did happen with late in the year, the Steam Deck OLED released. I'm starting to notice all of these correct predictions for the most part are based on very obvious information around the time, like just reports. My genuine predictions are terrible. Something about PC cards, you don't give a shit. You don't care.
Next year is the 10-year anniversary of the Xbox One's release, and the controller hasn't really changed all that much since then. I've made it clear before that I just want to see force feedback, adaptive triggers, all the DualSense features copied onto this Xbox form factor. But recent patents show that Microsoft might be moving in a different direction. They have a weird screen on it. I don't know if this means they're not going to do the other features. I think they still will, but the only thing that's clarified in this patent is that the display tells you which hardware you're connected to. I guess this might be useful if you're connecting to multiple cloud streaming devices, but it seems pointless to me.
While I didn't outright say that I expected this to be released, I felt it was worth mentioning. So I'll say I got that wrong. We did get a new Xbox controller leak during 2023, but it doesn't look anything like, it doesn't have a screen. I predicted a price hike on the cheaper model of consoles, the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition and the Xbox Series S, which did not happen in the United States, which is the region I was predicting. So that was wrong. I predicted Sony would not introduce first-party games on their subscription service day one. And they did not do that, so that's correct. I predicted that Game Pass would get more expensive and new tiers would be introduced, both of which happened. I predicted that an ad-supported Game Pass tier for free would happen, which is rumored, but it hasn't actually happened yet. So I'm gonna say I didn't get that. I talked about PlayStation 5 games coming to PC, including my expectations of both Demon's Souls and God of War Ragnarok, alongside Horizon Forbidden West. But I did have doubts that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart would ever reach the platform. Turns out, while Horizon is getting a PC port in early 2024, and Ragnarok will probably maybe follow up soon, Demon's Souls we've heard nothing about, and the only game that released in 2023 on PC from PlayStation Studios would have been that, it would have been a Rift Apart. I predicted that Valve would make an effort to solidify the Steam Deck as a minimum specification that developers target. Like, developers would look at the Steam Deck and say, this is the thing we gotta hit. We gotta make sure it runs on that. I don't think they did that. I guess that Starfield would be a huge, massive hit for the Xbox platform and shift the fortunes of Xbox entirely. Now, it didn't. It did not do that. But let's not pretend like this changed the entire direction of Xbox. I predicted that PlayStation VR 2 would fail, but it would be popular with enthusiasts. I just felt that the price point would be prohibitively expensive. I was wrong. The PlayStation VR 2 headset did fail, and it wasn't really that popular, even with enthusiasts. It was just a complete disaster. And I don't even know if Sony's still supporting it. Halo moving to Unreal Engine. This is the prediction. So rumors at the time suggested that Halo Infinite could be moving to Unreal Engine, or at least the Battle Royale game mode. I talked about how the game itself couldn't move engines. That's just not how engines really work. It would be too much of a time commitment. It wouldn't make any sense. And the Battle Royale, if it was made in Unreal Engine, this couldn't be just a mode for Halo Infinite. It wouldn't exist within the same game. It's made on a different engine. It would be a new game. My bet was that either they were making a whole new game to sort of be a successor to Halo Infinite, but I also didn't think they were making it an Unreal Engine. I thought maybe they might use id Tech. So, wrong. I predicted that Sony would announce a new Twisted Metal game because of the TV show. They didn't. They didn't do that. This is concerning. This is bad. Like, most of what I do, looking at my channel, is supposed to be taking things in predicting them, right? Like taking the news, informing predictions. What an absolute disaster of a year. What a shame. Sure hope 2024 is... It can't get worse. It can't be worse than that. Again, huge thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. And if you haven't played in the past 6 months, you can get that large pack of fancy things, including multiple premium vehicles and an exclusive 3D decorator and that premium account.